Here we are on another Let's Talk with the Doc, and I'm as happy to be here as always. God has been gracious and good, and I am thankful, and I'm excited tonight again to have another friend of mine joining me on Let's Talk with the Doc. We have Minister Chevene Bailey joining me live from Jamaica on the St. Catherine part of Jamaica. So when I come back, I am going to be talking to Minister Chevene Bailey to find out what is her story. So stay tuned as we come back and continue with our conversation. ORB Ministry presents Let's Talk with the Doc. Grace Without Borders podcast. A thought for you. Ask Pastor. And a whole lot more. You never know what's next or who will join the conversation. All right, so here we are. Here we are. Welcome to Let's Talk with the Doc. Minister Chevene Bailey, welcome to the program. Good to have you tonight.
Good to be here, Bishop.
Sound like you lost the excitement like in a moment.
I'm happy to be here. It's a
All right,
pleasure.
all right. So welcome to Let's Talk with the Doc. It's good to have you. So, normally I like to journey with my friends or my guests to find out about their stories, get to know who they are, where they're, what their story's been like. So, give us some insight into Chevene's story. Where was Chevene born? What was it like when she was born? Do you have siblings? What was family dynamics like, etc., etc. We now get some insights into what your story is.
Okay. I was actually born and grown in Fraser's Canton, St. Catherine, right? I have two brothers, and I'm the only girl.
Hmm.
All
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah. Well, for me, I had a comfortable life. When I say comfortable, because I had my parents, Christian parents. Um, my mother was list before I was born. So my father was very strict, but we learned to live with it. All right. Um, my brothers, sometimes I usually give them trouble. So what they normally do is they would say, I'm gonna tell mommy. And I would say, if you ever tell, you see, and they would say, well, you have to give us your meat, your food, and all of that because I didn't love food. So whenever food time, they would say, all right, time to, for you to give us the food. So I would give them the food and they would keep my secret. But I'm a good family and I thank God for that.
So you didn't like food. What did you like?
Snacks, love snacks, drinks. I was very slim. At one time, um, is when you're going to put on weight. But then I didn't know that I would live to that because I didn't love food.
So you grow loving food, or you get to like it better? What happened?
Well, I get to like it. Growing up, I would mostly love like my food, like rice and peas and chicken. I love that, right? And my mother used to, sometimes she would and I don't love turn cornmeal. One time she said, I'm going to put sugar in it. Will you eat it? So I call it sugar cornmeal. So I started eating the cornmeal like that. But I wasn't a food lover.
Hmm. Okay, all right, all right. So, how much older were your brothers than you were?
Well, my big brother, I think he's 7 years older than I am. And um, the one that I follow, 2 years older than I am, but most persons think I am older than he is because
Why?
I
Why
behave more mature than he. So most times, to the other day, somebody said to me, "I thought you were the older one." No, I'm the last.
Okay, all right. Well, that varies. That varies. All right. So tell me about your life growing. I mean, okay, you're born. Your mother was an evangelist when you were born. What were your father was he a Christian as well?
Well, actually, my father was a Christian at that time, but he had backslidden for about 7 years, and but what my mother used to do, my mother never ever do less than her wifely duties. My mother makes sure, because at that time, church used to start um start like 10, 11 o'clock and over 3 o'clock, right? I used to go to Fraser's Content Church of Prophecy. And my mother made sure that she prepared the meal, she prepared the carrot juice or the source of juice, and make sure she have everything there. But my father used to go a nearby community, right? We call it the foot of the hill. And while he was there, my mother made sure that the box turned where he can hear the message when she preaching. I should make sure that we can hear when preaching. And believe you me, when I got saved, when we moved from Fraser's, and he said that he wasn't going to be baptized again. He was actually the treasurer at Fraser's Content, and something happened, and then he stopped going. And then afterwards, my father decided, say, I'm not going baptized over. And my mother said, well, you have to go baptized over. Eventually, so happened that myself and my father baptized in the same baptism in 1982. He
Hmm.
was the first one, and I was the last person, right? And
Interesting.
yeah, live to see and hear him say in a church, testify at church, and said, it's because of the life that my mother lived that draws him back to God.
Well,
And then from
part of
then,
the discussion
pardon
we're
me?
having is like the sanctified wife could change the life of the
Yes,
sanctified, and Paul was saying, who knows, you might win your husband or win your wife. So doing
exactly.
your wifely duties or the husbandly duties could be a great way of winning your spouse to the Lord. So that's a great
Yes,
example. That's a great example. All right. So
yes,
tell
it
me
is.
about your school days and early church days. When did you? I mean, you're born in the church, quote unquote, as we normally say. When did you have a personal experience with the Lord? And just not my mother is a preacher, and I go to this church. When did you have a personal experience? Is that later on or
Well,
early?
well, actually, early, no, about after 11 years old, after I had the trauma, the early childhood trauma, I gave
Oh, so
my
okay, so let
life to the
okay, so
Lord.
let us put that on hold then. if that was after, let's put that on hold. Tell me about your early going to school, so we can get to the trauma thing, because if that happened before you get to know the Lord personally, then we want to see what triggered that and get it into that. So let's talk about your early school days, going to school. What was that like?
Well, it was enjoyable to go to. Well, the school I used to go to was nearby where I lived, Fraser's. It was Friendship Primary at that time, right? Friendship all age school at that time. And one summer we had summer school, and my mother sent me to summer school, but I didn't know that um it wasn't at school, it would be the summer school. So I went to this church nearby. When I went to the church and I um Chevene, where I went to summer school. I don't know if it's somebody saw me or whatever. And I told her it was at a church. Only to know that the church where I would find myself at summer school was a Zion church. And when I said I went to that church, my mother said, "You're not going back there." She almost called me, "You're crazy." Not at all. You're not putting back your foot there. Right?
So
But my school days, I wasn't a very child, meaning that I would fight and all of that, go to school. Actually, every day and I remember one time there was this boy, big and trapped in boy. Nobody could beat him. And one day I decided in my mind, I am going to give him a fine beating. And I did give him. And then everybody run to my brother. Boy, see your sister beat up Rocky. Nobody could beat him. And and I usually like I have friends and all of that. I usually just tell them the truth, just tell them my mind and all of that. And I know at the time I used to do things. It wasn't right. When I look back at it now, one day when I was coming from school, there is this friend. She live in our community. And while I was coming from school, I don't know what we had. And I started cursing her, and I started telling her, "You don't have any clothes." And my mother, I figure some of my clothes that wasn't nice when I look back now and see. My mother has to give her some of my clothes, and I see I have to wear my clothes.
wow.
Indeed, it wasn't nice. But then, being a child, as I said, uh, a lot of things, I was like a tomboy because everything my brothers did, I don't know how the tomboy come out of me now, but everything my brothers did, I usually just follow them. If it's to climb, I climb. Everything you used to do.
So
But
you're a mean little bully.
you call it like that, Bishop? Yeah, I was very
Yeah,
mean and kind.
a mean
Very
little
unkind.
bully. Oh
Yeah, very
wow.
mean. But then after
Wow.
but then after that I went to another all age school, then I went to high school, right? I gave my life to the Lord while I was um in primary school, all age school. But then the journey continued. I went to high school. I started working and setting myself
Oop,
back to
yeah.
school. Right? I work and left high school with language. And then I went just buy the syllabus and study, and I got them and I went to college.
Wow. Good for
Yeah, I
you.
went to college.
We kind of, my friends. I'm talking to Chevene Bailey from Jamaica, and you can hear that the internet is kind of crappy a little bit sometimes, so a little bit of freezing. So bear with us, and let's see what the best we can get. All right, it's good time you can hit your share button and tell your friend, invite your friends to join us because we're gonna get into some of the deep part of our story. All right, so let's go into your early trauma. Tell me tell me about the trauma.
All right. Before the trauma, I remember my mother used to say, two things she with me. I'm gonna be a preacher and I'm gonna be a teacher. Because when I used to come from school, when I reach home from school, I used to beat up her flowers. Children, you don't hear me, you're not learning. And then when I come from church, I used to take my Bible and stay right at the front of the house and I used to preach my message. So she said, you're gonna be a teacher and a preacher. And that's really true. And when I look at it, I said the enemy tried to block that. Really tried to block it. Right? And I remembered all of that. Right? I going into the trauma, removed from Fraser's content, came to Hampton Green. My former pastor, he and his wife saw a house that was selling, told my parents about it, and they buy the house. And then a weeks, few months after they sell their house, all right, in Fraser's content. And so my former pastor wife, she became very close to me, very close to me. She was the one that used to help me with my school work and all of that. I was about near 11 years old at that time. She helped me with my schoolwork and my assignments, and so she was very close to me. But she got sick. She got sick after she died after. And I remembered when she died, the morning my friend called me at her fence and said, Chevene, you don't know what? Miss, whatever, pass off, come let us go and look. So I took up the initiative. I went and I looked at her lifeless body. After looking at her, I went and I, just like how I'm sitting here, I sat on the bed, started looking in space. Where I didn't cry and scream nothing. I everything back inside of me. I can say that it took a toll on me, right? A great, and I can just pause to say to persons, if you have a friend, if you have a family, um, or close friends, and it's upon that they died, please do not keep it over you. That will kill you, right? Cry if you may, right? I almost lost my mind. I almost become insane, right? I was on the road, but God. And I just want to say, my mother didn't take me to the funeral the day.
So where
And
where where
so
wa- where was she when you went to see her? Where was the body?
the body was still at her house. She was lying
On
on
her
the
house.
bed, right? And they cover her. And my neighbor said to me, um, pull out the sheet and look. No, I said, no, no, no. But she eventually pulled the sheet and looked at her.
Hmm.
And then for the first time, I'm seeing a dead person. And then when I looked, I was
What did that
traumatized.
what did that mean to you? What did that mean to you when you saw the dead person? Because you're 11 years old, a dead person just looked like somebody sleeping. Just a dead person looked like somebody sleeping, especially in your own home and your own bed. So what did you conclude in your mind? Is just the knowledge of the person dead or the sight of the person dead? What was it?
Well, actually, the sight, when I saw that she wasn't moving or anything like that, right? This, so I was just taken aback, traumatized, right? It wasn't easy, right? As I said, take me to the funeral. So the evening when my mother came back home, the funeral after the funeral came, I was in the living room. The family of us were in the living room, and I just realized that I started acting funny, strange, and I started screaming and all of that. And my brothers held me. What happened to you? And I felt as if I was growing. And I don't know what was happening to me. And so my mother called my former pastor and they rushed me to Spanish Town Hospital. When I went to the hospital, Spanish Town Hospital, the doctor started talking to me. I poured out and I told him everything that my friend died and I saw the body and all of that. And I didn't say anything to my mother. My mother heard everything and he called my mother and said to her, you know what happened to her? She got a nerve shock. And if she had scream or cry and all of that, it wouldn't have affected her like this. And he gave her that she should take me to to see the psychiatrist at the hospital. And believe you me, my mother took me there. And she took me, and we were waiting. And when she looked into the room and saw the persons that were there, Bishop, people, Jesus, pure man to me. And she said to me, this is how I owe. She said to me, Chevene, should I take you home and pray for you? I said, yes, mommy. And she took me home and she prayed for me. Believe you me, Bishop, I had so much fear before. I have been sleep. I have my own room from I was 5 years old. And believe you me, I couldn't sleep in the room. Couldn't sleep at all alone. I have to sleep with me and my brothers would have to. I was so fearful, right? And I was so I had to stop going to school for a few days and all that, but my mother prayed. My mother prayed. And so that was September. And the following April, I gave my life to the Lord.
So
Hasn't
how
been
long
easy,
did how
Bishop.
long was that trauma for a few days, well, a week, couple weeks? How long did it affect you?
About 2 or so weeks, or over 2 weeks, because if it reached to the stage, if my mother sent me to the shop, I am not walking. I'm gonna run, go to the shop and come back. I'm just I'm just out of it. I was just traumatized. I wasn't myself, but God.
So were you were
So
you were you afraid of ghosts? Were you thinking that the dead mean ghosts, duppy? What was it? What was in your mind?
I was afraid of the bishop. Like I was afraid of her. I was actually tell me I was afraid, really afraid. Look like I was that fear, right? Because even one night in the room sleeping, and I just heard my father speaking in tongues. I mean, I was saying, what is it? And my father started speaking in tongues like that. Very fearful.
Okay, so a
But
few
then,
months after you go ahead. We have a little bit of delay, my friends, with because our internet is acting up, as you can hear. So bear with us as we try to pull ourselves through it. That's what technology does, and you can have it all smooth sometimes. So it's life. So let's enjoy the conversation. All right. So your mother prayed for you, and was that immediate relief, or was that a manifestation of the power of God, or was that Chevine just felt good? Because the mind is a powerful thing. The mind is a powerful thing, and the mind could hold you hostage, or the mind could relieve you. Sometimes Sometimes great things didn't have to happen, although they do happen, but the psyche of the mind could really paralyze you or set you free. So, was that a miracle or was it a relief? Which one was it?
I think it was a miracle. It was a miracle because
Okay. Okay.
it worked shortly after. Right? It was really a miracle. God working his manifestation, guess anything else. But I got that relief, right? And and thanks be to God, didn't to God, and the power of prayer. A praying mother. She didn't take me nowhere else, but she bedside.
Okay. All right. So tell me now,
And so
what trick? What?
I gave my
No, I was just. I know we have a little bit of delay coming. So, what triggered you now? What stimulate? What create the urge or the desire to become a Christian? Was it because of that, or what was the motive behind you making that decision?
well, actually, Bishop. Think I got saved from Sisters Church, From I was about 10 years old. I told my mother I wanted to be baptized. She told Bishop at that time, Bishop Knight at that time, and he was asking her, how is our behavior and all of that? They usually want to find out if the children are behaving
Mhm.
themselves and know exactly what they're going into and all of that, right? And so, ties dear. And so after this upon, when I'm green, I started going we started going to Bend Church of God of Prophet November, December, um, 1981, right? And the April, I told my mother I wanted to be baptized. So it's like I saw needed, right, to give my to the Lord. My mother said to me, when baptized, you baptize him. And so that baptism was planned. My father baptized as well.
I'm curious about what did your father say brought him back? What brought him back? Did he share that?
Well, my father testify and said, brethren, I tell you, the way my wife treat me when I was a Christian, I had to give my life to the Lord. Treat me well. Because as I told you, every Sunday morning she make sure she prepare before she go to church. She make sure the carrot juice or the soursop juice well ready, right? And she prepare everything and she come back and she look at him. She treat him well, no less than, right?
Oh, the internet just get a little worse there, my friends. So if you have patience, if it's a virtue, then we can pull through this one. All right. So okay, you and your father get baptized together. He was the first, you were the last. All right, where did Chevene life go after that now? Now she's what, 11, 12. Where did her life go?
12, 11, 12. Okay. After that, I become a teenager. I'm going on mission, right? I know you must have mission with Sister
I read
Vivian.
about
We
Gideon.
started going on mission. We started in St. Catherine West, actually. St. Catherine West, then we extended to other parishes, and we go on mission. And when I started going on mission, my pastor at that time, it's like he didn't want, they didn't want you to leave the church and go on mission or anything like that. And I decided, wasn't being disobedient or anything. I decided, I said, Pastor, I am going on mission, until he started, I am Chevene assistant. All right, Chevene assistant. Going on mission. I really started, I developed, right, mission. I started some of the parishes, preaching St. Thomas. Um, I was sent to St. Thomas to preach in Portland. We went on mission and my parish and all of that. So I had really, really good for us as young people about deliverance and all that, right? Persons to the Lord.
So
And went to
who
LDI.
was your mentor?
Sister Vivian.
Tell me some. Tell me what a
Sister
mission was
Vivian
like. What a mission
Montgomery.
was like. We're going on mission. What a mission was like.
Actually, as young people, um, there are some of the churches in community week. So we as young people call ourselves, we call ourselves, right? So we would go on the mission for the weekend from Friday, Saturday, and they would be going different communities. They would we go in different and the churches in the community would put us up for the weekend. We'll stay at different houses or maybe and we'll be there and we minister for the weekend. For the weekend, we would have the communities on Saturdays. We walk through the communities and talk to persons who are not saved. Those who are Christian would encourage them and we'll have church Sunday. We'll come home Sunday afternoon. But mission that really developed us a lot of persons, Gideon. Some persons are bishops now, are pastors, you name it.
So you had the ministerial inclination from childhood days. So that spiraled into what? Continuation? Is that where your foundation comes from?
Yes, it is where my foundation comes from. Because after that, during that time, I said, okay, I'm going to attend LDI. So I went to LDI not with the intention
What age do you go to
of being
LDI?
almost graduated. I think that was in my 20s. It was in my
Okay,
early
all
20s.
right.
It has been a long time.
I remember when
Yes, my
LDI
mother
came around. I
decided
remember
that
when they.
in fact, I forget that I went to BTI. BTI, I went to BTI first in my
That makes
BTI
sense
to
because BTI.
advanced course.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you're waiting on me or no. Um,
I did the advanced.
Go ahead.
Yes, I went to did the advanced course at BTI. And then afterwards, they changed from BTI to LDI to CLDI.
All right. So yeah, I remember all of those BT. I remember it was BTC before it get to BTI and then CBL and then LDI. So, it was BTC. I was way back then. It was BTC. So we're coming from a long way. My friend, I'm talking to Chevene Bailey, Minister Chevene Bailey, who you can hear that she's been in ministry from her very, very youthful days. And by the way, for those who don't know, I know Chevene and her little posse, a long, long, long time ago. Long time ago. No, I mean decades and decades ago. All right, so your life get continue to move. So, but by the way, when did you decide on your career other than the preaching mission? When did you decide on your career what you really want to become, other than what your mom tell you? Yeah, you're gonna be a teacher. When did Chevene say this is what I want to pursue, and here are the steps I'm taking?
Pardon me,
So the question was, when did
Bishop?
you decide what you want to pursue in life as a career, other than what your mama say you're going to be a preacher or a teacher? When did you decide for yourself what you want to pursue?
Actually, I after leaving school, I started working at preschool. It becomes a prep. I was there working, and then I decided that I'm going to be teaching, and I actually applied. Well, I applied to college in Portland, right? And I went to that college in Portland. I spent 1 year, right? Passed the teachers college, and then when I was there 1 year, I said, look like this is for me here, and I came back. I was still working. Went back to the school to work, and then while I was there, somehow there was education teacher there, and I got and sports. And then a teacher said to me, go and apply to go to GC Foster College. And so I took up the offer Foster College. So I went and I did the first grade working and I sending myself to school, right? I went in the grade. I did I had got my certificate in, and then I did a diploma in teaching. Then I went on and I said, I'm not going to stop here. And I did my degree in physical education. So
Mm.
I am a physical education. And
Oh,
from
it's
then
interesting.
I am coaching ball.
I didn't know you were athletic. I didn't know you were athletic and into the field of sports. I had no clue. I mean, I didn't know what you were doing back then. Well, I mean, I only know, when you were in church, and we were in church and camp and all those days. But like what you were doing as part of your career pursuit, I had no clue. All right. So now you're a coach and you're
Yeah. Time
physical education teacher. And what else? What else
yeah.
happened now?
I, I up to I teach up to 6 education. And for over the years, I choose right in physical education
Mm.
to teach integrated science.
Oh, so you're pretty smart.
Yeah, because we did science
All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. All right. School, coach, church, ministry now. Where did ministry pop in your life? And I know later on Chevene got married and stuff like that. How did all of that when did all of that happen and how? I'm curious about that part of life.
Well, actually, um, after I've been to LDI, I was set forth um, work as a lay minister. Right, I received. I went to board November 2000, and then 2001 ministerial license. Right. Um, I got married, or I got married 1997. Right. Have
Okay, so
1999. So
tell me about find.
during the
Hold a
time
second.
between marriage and ministry,
No, tell me about finding the husband or the husband finding you. Okay, just like just pop up and get married. I gotta find a husband find me.
oh my
So tell
gosh,
me about
Bishop, this is so unique. Husband on the mission, mission being on Gideon,
and what?
right? Um, on the mission field, yes.
You found a husband in a mission field.
I found him on the mission, right? He
So what was he a mission?
on the
Was he a
mission as
missionary as well, or was he?
well, but yes,
What was he a missionary as well?
he was a Gideonite. He was a missionary as well. It's ironic though that this would have happened. On the mission for real, on the mission. And two, that one of the time while we became friends, um Vivian said to us, you know, I'm gonna send the both of you to St. Thomas. One going to preach Friday night and one preach Saturday. I said, oh my God, what is this? And the both of us went to St. Thomas. I don't remember if it was Lyson or it was Lyson. I'm not remembering. Church, but it was a prophecy church. The Lyson church to preach. And he preached the Friday night, I think, and he left this night, preached the Saturday night. It was powerful, really
Hmm.
powerful. And Bishop, we stayed in the house, but not in the same room. I tell you. And I said, but we were missionary, we were on a mission. And know that he liked me. Didn't know that he liked me. At is one day he didn't tell me, Bishop. Is Vivian, he told Vivian that he liked me. And you know what Vivian did? Vivian called my mother and said to my mother, Mommy, you know, one guy, and she described him to her and said, would you like that guy to be your son? And then from there, Vivian called me. That's how we usually call 3 ways, right? And said, you know, she said, you, and I said, ooh, me, no, sir. And then when he told, not everybody going to get married. I might just be that not going to get married. Go your ways. I wasn't into, I don't know. When it's purpose, it's purpose.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay, my friends. We're struggling with our internet and the free flow, but we're still getting the story. So hang in there with us, and we try to get Sister Chevine to tell us more about our story and see where it goes from there. Because now she got married, we're gonna find out about the getting married part of it and how did they break the ice together. We're gonna get into that, but I'm gonna take a little break and give her a chance to get a drink of water. So when I come back, we will continue the conversation. Stay right there, my friends. Hang in there.
Wednesday, 8 p.m. Join ORB Ministries on Let's Talk with the Doc. Live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. There is a story, something to encourage and inspire you. You may even have a life-changing experience. You never know what's next or who will join the conversation. Stay connected. Subscribe to ORB Ministries YouTube channel. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Everyone has scars, and everyone has a past. Some people have been judged by their scars and held hostage to their past. Some people have judged others by their scars and hold them hostage to their past. And even when sometimes they have turned their lives around, some people will still not let them go so they can progress in life, grow in ministry, and achieve their goals and aspirations. That's why this book, Don't Judge Me by My Scars or Hold Me Hostage to My Past, is important for you to read. If you have been offended or you are the offender, you need to read this book. If you've been offended, you'll find hope and healing by reading this book and direction. And if you are the offender, you'll find direction how to learn how to allow others to move past their past. There are some people who have held themselves hostage to their own past. And as I said in this book, the worst hostage is when you hold yourself hostage. Because when nobody else is even thinking about you, you are still held hostage because you hold yourself hostage. Read this book to find hope and healing, because some scars are for God's glory. So I hope you will get a copy of this and find hope and healing and the reason to forgive yourself and to make good of the value of grace. If you are in the continental USA or any of its territories, get a copy directly from me, because then you will get an autographed copy. If you're out of United States or territories, then you can go to Amazon or your local bookstore and get a copy. But go to obekford.us or email me at orbministries@gmail.com and let's arrange for you to get a copy directly into your mailbox.
Presents Truth Matters. Join the Truth Matters panel for discussion on issues of the times with host Dr. Orville Beckford Sr. and his panel consisting of Bishop Ishmael Charles,
Minister Ashana Knight, Bishop Woodrow Thompson,
Dr. Danette Ming, Bishop Anthony Campbell, and Pastor Shelley Antoni. Nothing is off limits for discussion. Follow ORB Ministries on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And be ready for the next hot topic on Truth Matters.
All right, so we are back. And I can see my sister is still shivering around there, so I know it's internet issues and that you have no control over. So we're gonna make the best of it. All right, my friends. So welcome again as we continue the conversation. All right, so tell me now about the breaking of the ice, other than what the story happening behind the scene between uh, Vivina and your mama. Tell me when did it come to light between you and Mr. Bromfield?
Well, actually, um, as I said, I didn't, I wasn't interested, but then
Okay,
after
before you
I
go
said,
further,
okay, start working.
tell me why weren't you interested? Were you not ready to get married? You didn't like the guy. Why you didn't have an interest? Tell me about that.
Bishop, like I wasn't ready for, I was doing the mission, I was on the mission, right? And I think it was all about mission, right? But it wasn't that in the midst of it came came this right? I wasn't ready yet. I didn't yet to really maybe settle down or something, but that's how it is.
All right. Okay. So you finally how long did it take you to decide and say, okay, I might as well go along with it? Or you say, when did you give your approval? How long did it take?
Well, actually, maybe about over a year, because um
A year?
because actually we it was a few no it was a few maybe weeks, a few weeks after Vivian told me and all of that, started talking. I mean, how he expressed is actually say, I am interested in her, I am in love with you. You know what he did? He called, he said to me, listen to this. And it was a love song. I said, oh my God, love song? That's how he expressed to me. And then he said, then he let me know that, I like you, I'm interested. I said, oh my God. And then after that, I would like, I, you know, I am not going to be seen with you. When we go on mission, Bishop, we don't talk to each other. We're on mission. Most persons didn't know that we were going to get married because they didn't see us in that light.
Okay.
When we planned to get married, some, we had a little problem. Um, a little problem on actually persons. He was from Moreland, came to St. Catherine. Persons about him and know about his background and all of that. From St. Catherine, even go down to Westmoreland to find out, dig up whatever little, a little problem. I make up my mind I'm gonna get married. And my mother was very supportive, my father and my brother.
So who create the
Yes, so
problem? Whose interest it was?
actually you're trying to do something, always have a third person. All people. People have the saying to say this and that. Know him and this, that. We're going down to find out from whoever. Those persons can be very mischievous.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. Wow. Okay. So finally, you get the hurdles clear and you got married.
Yeah. Yes, got married and I've one.
Okay.
The union produced one. After getting married, and then after a while, he on the ship. He went on the ship to work. Work visa, went on the ship to work, and coming home from the ship at one time. That was what 2011. We came from the ship, took sick, got sick, and took really sick. He was hospitalized and he died. Right.
Oh, wow.
That's another thing. What I've been through earlier with that death, right? Even my brother thought this would have affected me so much, being as my husband died because what happened to me earlier. But God is good. Persons would say to me, "You are strong." When he died this Saturday, Sunday, one of my coworker called me, and she said to me, she was talking to me, and I laughed. I laugh. Your husband is dead. You should have. I said, look here, man. Nobody knew what I went through in my earlier days. I cannot go back there, right? Because I trust God gonna take me through. And indeed, that what I've been through have helped me because I've gone through 3 deaths. My death and my father death, and I'm still standing here. I didn't reap as others would because what I have been through. That's why many persons don't know what I have been through. Then I am still standing. That is why God has allowed me to go through those other deaths. I'm still here, right? I am not nothing like that because God has allowed do that, and He has given me the strength so that I can encourage anybody, right? Don't. It's over until it's over.
Wow. It's so unfortunate that we're not getting
And
the
then
streets
even
moving.
after his death and all of that.
Now go ahead. We having delay as well because of
No,
the
even after his death, right? Persons have. Okay, right. Even after say, I heard them, but it doesn't let me be less, right, than who I am. Go straight because whom I believe and I'm persuaded that God is able, right? God has brought me thus far. And after his death, sick, really sick, till a few days after the death. She too sick to rush her to the doctor. Lose her. She had that terrible asthma attack like that before.
wow.
Terrible asthma attack. When I went and took her to the doctor had to give her nebulizers, right? Almost set of nebulizers, and she started vomiting. I started worrying and I started praying. I said, God, this is not it. She's not going to die too. And I started praying and I prayed. And I tell you, after that, she started calming down and all of that. But I tell you, she has a story as well. Because after that, she just started fainting sometimes. And then when I took her to the doctor said when she come under pressure, she will just pass this. Why is this? She just, sometimes the nurse would call me. I started doing dialysis and I was taking my mother to do her dialysis. And the nurse called me at school and said, she was at Olaba High School, you have to come. No, she gone cool. And I had to jump in the car.
Wow.
Took my mother with me.
Wow.
And I went to the school. school, right? When I went, there and I started praying. And when I touched her, she started like traumatized. She started shaking like this, started shaking. I said, oh my God. Bishop, she did a lot of tests, blood tests, this test. The doctor is negative. And you know what the doctor did? The doctor ordered for me to order the, and that's what I had to carry to a Christian counselor. Church, I did not get, when my husband died, I did not get no counseling from the church, and we have so many counselors in the church. Nothing. I had to seek it out. I had to seek it for her. Sometimes, you're right about cars and people holding us very good book, and I want many to buy it and read it, because a lot of persons have scars, right? A lot of persons, and I mean, when God forgive you, Christian people hold you hostage. They hold you up against whatever. But we have a God that is bigger than all of that. And so she is where she is now because of that counseling and, I mean, prayer and all of that. Right? It hasn't been easy. Hasn't been easy.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you if and I'm curious to go back a little bit to find out how long was your husband sick? And then the follow-up question is that what were the church saying? Why wasn't there any counseling, grievance counseling? I mean, your daughter was what, 11, 12 years old, 13 years old when
She
her father
died. When
died?
he died, she was
And
13. She was 13. 13 when he died. She was
and there
13 years
was
old.
nobody who cared and showed compassion that to really help you a single mother now with a young teenage daughter going through all this trauma. Where was the help? Where was the help?
Pastor, Bishop, I thank God for my mother. I had to lean on my mother, right? Because there was nobody. Actually, let me tell you, actually, at the time when he died, I was in pastoral, right? I was pastor in a church, and he died. He's sick about. He came from the work from off the ship 2011, right? And from he came back, he wasn't well, and then he died 2012. He came back is when November 2011, and he died 2012 October, right? Actually, 1 year after. And when he died, I was in pastoral actually, right? And even being in that, I'll tell you, no counseling, no counseling.
Sure.
So I was in
Wow.
pastoral until that was October. I was in until in April. Decide to give me time out, and I'm still on time out at the ministry, whatever. Yeah, and then no counseling, nobody meet with me, and whatever. I'm a daughter, and so nothing,
Wow.
Bishop.
Wow. 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 That is strange. That is strange. That is very strange, and I can't find answers to that. And I don't know where to set my focus, but that is extremely unfortunate. That is extremely unfortunate. Has anybody come to you even after you've been through all that cycle? Is anybody say we've been praying for you? We Is anybody say we don't know how you pulled through? What's the conversation has been like? From that time going forward.
Bishop, the only thing a person would say is that you're strong. That's all, because I've been through husband dead, mother, father, they say, you're a strong woman, right? And going back, I would even say this, that the night when my husband died is Saturday, the evening, I got a few calls. I mean, overseer called me, this called me, and whatever. But there was a pastor, and I tell you, sometimes when persons are grieving, you have to be careful what to say to them because
Exactly.
they can't even let it be worse. That's why some people, when
Mhm.
people are grieving, they don't know what to say. Better than say anything, you rub them back or something. You understand? But if you can't say
Amen.
anything good,
Amen.
don't say.
Amen. Amen.
I mean, the
I
pastor
agree.
called me and said to me, she said to me, I don't even remember, boy, a young widow. You understand? A young widow. And that thing from then till now, it really on my mind, a young widow. Yes, everybody know that, but you didn't have to say that. Have to say something else to encourage. All right?
Wow. How has been your how has your daughter been how has she managed that? How has she dealt with the death of her father? She was 13. Now it's like 12 years maybe since that happened. How has she dealt with it, and how you dealt with her dealing with it, and you're dealing with yourself alone without outside help? How you navigate through that with the sickness of your mom, death of your father, your sickness of your mom? How you pull yourself through all of that? What was your method? How did you manage? What was your strategy?
But God has allowed me to go through. Um, my daughter, it was uh, it was terrible. I tell you, but God, I remembered and I didn't even know that she was very well. I know she was close to her father, very close to her father. It's since his death she become close to me, right? Um,
Hmm.
I was the more strict one for her because if she don't do her work or anything like that, she knows she can't get past me, right? I punish her when she don't do her work. I said, "You're not getting any food." I would say, "No, you don't do that or whatever." But God has allowed me to and allowed her because it has been a rough ride with her because as I told her when she was going to school, because the thing about it, she started going to high school this September and he took her to school and carried her back home all of September and he died October. So you can just
Wow.
imagine. Yeah, that was
So
that was something.
he felt better. He felt better enough to take her to school, but I mean during the illness.
Yes, he could manage to drive her to school and go for
Wow.
her. Yes, he could
Wow.
manage to do all
So,
of that.
do I mean I don't know if you care to say what it was that what was the illness. If you don't have to say it if you don't want to, but if you care to, I'm curious. But you don't have to say it if you don't want to.
Okay. Actually, when he came back, he said that he had some pain or something in his back, could hardly walk, and he had to be on medical. He had to go get physiotherapy and all of that, right? Because it allow him not to move as he would, terrible back and it's like strain back or whatever it was, and he went to and he went got treatment, and then it just turned out. I realized that he started. He catch a cold and a cold and a cold, and he started coughing and all that, and when he had pneumonia, right? That's what severe pneumonia
Hmm.
kill him. And you know, with pneumonia,
Wow.
the things that are surrounded, what people would say, and all of that. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. My sincere condolences to you and your daughter. Although it's a long time gone, but I I didn't have connection back then. We weren't communicating. I didn't know what was going on with Chevene. I didn't even know. I think I heard later that Chevine was doing pastoral work, but I didn't know about your marriage life and your relationship. And I mean, I didn't know that. I knew when you were young and single, but that was much I knew. And my apologies, my sincere condolences to your experience and journeying it by yourself without anybody being there as your help and your daughter. So did you find out whether the asthmatic attack for your daughter was as a result of the grief? Did you come to any conclusion on that?
Yes, it has some connection because she lose her father, she become emotional. So it came on emotionally. All right. So she had an attack there and then. It started vomiting and all of that. And then but it has been it well sometimes like if she get emotional it will come on, but it has been a long time because what is actually happening now is that after a long time still dealing with certain things, after she has to be going through deliverance processes and all of that, right? So she she has to go through deliverance because it so happened that she became, I didn't know if she tell me after she became suicidal, losing her father, and she
Really?
said, "My the one that I love," and all of that. Yes. And one day she told me that, "Mommy, I didn't tell you, but I'm telling you now. I went into that time where we're living," and she said, "I went into the kingdom to take my life, and then I said, just do it." And I said, "Thank you, Jesus." And from then I said, "My God." So she became suicidal, wanted to end her life because her father died and all of that.
How many how
Oh
many
my
how
God.
many how many years after that
Maybe
did that
one
did that
person,
did that happen?
did she try to kill herself?
Mm.
Well, actually, it's after he died, it wasn't long after. We're still living, so it wasn't long after. We're still living. We had, yes. So it wasn't long after.
Wow.
Everything
Wow.
come down on her. So
Wow. How did she manage in school after that? How did she manage in school?
I tell you, she did not believe you me. It affected her schooling so bad because she didn't get the subjects that she wanted, right? She failed a lot because of that. It really, really mess up her life. Now she's trying to get back together, right? And do what she wants to do. Wasn't easy.
May God bless and help her. One of these days, I'll get a chance to talk to her. I'm sure. To hear how she pull herself through, because she's gone through 12 years of it,
Yes.
and it must be 12 years of struggle, 12 years of struggle. And but thank God for mercy and grace that she is where she is. And memories don't go like people do. So she will never get past. She'll never get past this, because it's a lifetime thing. But you get better at navigating and handling and facing your life realistically and get a chance to move on, not without the scars, but to move on despite the scars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, it is. Hasn't been
So
easy, but God. And for me,
how are you doing now?
well, actually, despite whatever, didn't get the support that I wanted from the church and all of that. I God has allowed me manage to reach where I am now. A lot of setback, but I know that my comeback is gonna be greater than my setback, right? And God is able, right, to do more than what we even ask or think. Yes. Um, many maybe many persons didn't know that I would pull through, right? But God, God is
Wow.
able.
Where are your brothers? Are your brothers in your neighborhood? Are they around? Are they supporters? Can you call on them when you need them?
Well, actually, my brother that I followed, living together, right, is here. Um,
Okay.
my older brother, he lives in England, right?
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
he was here last year when my father died and buried. He was here last year. He was here when my mother passed on, right, and buried. He was here. So yeah, they are there.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Sister Elaine. We and not only with mental health that we're not apt to deal with anything. Well, I won't say anything, but some of us are not apt to deal with any issue, family issues, marriage issues, mental issues, emotional pain. I mean, we're not prepared or able to be of a good source of help because we it is so unfortunate, and I feel bad for my sister, that she's been through all that she's been through, and I wish I had connections with you back then, Chevene, that you could have called me, and even in the distance, that I could be a source of help and strength to you, but um. My apologies that we weren't that connected. My apologies on that. I wish I was there for you as a support.
And Bishop, during all the time, lost my husband, 20 2012, 2013. Well, I got time out from the church, no longer church. Um, then in May,
What I mean, time. What
May
is time? What is time out? What is time out?
get some time off. I guess to rewind and come again. Time off, something happened, and then I was told to take some time out of ministry, out of pastoral. I haven't been back though, and that was it then. And then
So you have
in
you haven't been back by choice, or you are what? Is that by you choose not to go back, or what?
it wasn't by choice really. It wasn't by choice
Really
because I would have gone back, but I I wasn't given
interesting.
another chance then. So
That is interesting. That is interesting. That is interesting. And there is no conversation, and especially now we're everywhere we shout at pastors, and they well, I can't question the motive behind that, but
the
that is
only
interesting.
Bishop, the only thing about from about 2 years ago, right? I have been asked to pastors that are going on leave in my parish. I've been asked to serve the 6 weeks or the 4 weeks that they take. That is it.
Really?
So like interim pastor. Yeah.
How are you dealing with that? How you dealing with that? How you how you find the freedom, the will, the capacity, the humility. I'm trying to find words here. How does Chevene fit herself into situations like those, as fill in? How do you assess that?
Well, actually, I can say God be the glory. I've been to churches more than one time. I've been into churches more than one time that I have supportive brethren. I mean, supportive brethren. And that really encourages me, right? Really encourage me because there are persons who, brethren, really work along with me. Understand, they really work, and that really encouraged me. I said yes, at least I have a few persons who I can rely on, who will work along with me, right? And let the dream work. Yeah.
I
But
find it
and
very
then Bishop,
unfortunate. I find it very unfortunate.
the good thing about it, after the April, the May, I decided that I am going to go to the embassy. Going to the embassy, I'm going to try and get my visa. But I did not take my daughter with me because thinking that maybe they wouldn't want to give the both of us, because being that my husband died the October, they might think we're not going to come back, right? So I decided that I'm going to go alone. And I went and I got my 10 years visa. And so upon I went up the July, 2013 July, right? I went up, took a break. I went by Sister Vivian's house. Had a good time,
I think I
right?
remember when I remember when you were here. I knew when you were
Yes,
here. I think I knew that.
yes, I came up. And when I came back the July, only to know my principal gave me a letter and said she's gonna redundant me. After I've been through all of that, she's gonna redundant, right? So I got redundancy the October 2013. And after getting redundancy, I couldn't a job. Couldn't I was out there, no job at all. Couldn't pick up another job
Wow.
until 2015 when I got a job part-time first. And the school that I am now, the high school that I am now, that's where I've been from 2015. I'm at a high school now, private high school.
So so Jehovah Jireh is still your provider.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So you're tough like a lion.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
where the, where does Chevine go from here?
Well, actually, that Chevy wants to move on. I intend I should have started my master's, and I delayed it because I am between two opinions what to do the master's in, and I already applied, and then I didn't start it and all of that. But I want to do my master's and go on to my doctorate. I am not stopping. I am unstoppable, Bishop.
So what are you pursuing in the masters and the doctorate? What are you pursuing? The same
Well,
physical education?
actually, I'm not going to do my master's in physical education. It would be sports administration, right? I
Okay.
was torn with the idea to do my master's in sports administration, but I'm not sure. I wanted to do something in. I wanted to do my master's in theology, and then I am kind of changing, maybe counseling, psychology, or something. Yes, I'm undecided.
So that's what I was just gonna say. At this age, at this age, you still undecided what you want to do. Do you think you have all that time to contemplate and say, okay, where do I go, left, right, or center?
No, no, actually, from 2019, I was supposed to go on a teaching program, right? My mother took sick. My mother was sick, and then came my father, and that didn't pull through. And I've been still trying, so I am allowing the Lord to lead wherever He wants to lead. I'm also ministry, so I am praying to that end for the Lord to have His way to lead me in the right way.
Okay, so thinking of ministry, that mean what type of ministry you're thinking of? Because if you're gonna pursue I'm gonna advance my education, what kind of ministry are you contemplating? What level of ministry and what type?
Well, actually, I am actually this. Yes, I love that. I love the call, evangelist calling. Yeah, I really want to. There are so many persons that are broken. There are so many persons that need salvation. Somebody else, right? Right. The call of God ring out. I want to reach somebody else. It's not over yet.
So is there a life in evangelism, or you want to be bivocational? Which one? Because I don't know the
Bible.
structure of evangelism. Is there a life from evangelism, or you'd have to do that, half and half bivocational? I have a job and I do evangelism, or you want to say I want to do something that I can go into all in? Is there a life in that?
Yes, that is why I think I am more leaning to counseling psychology. Even though I said evangelism, I'm leaning to that because
Mhm.
that person that are encouraging me say, yes, you can make something out of that, right? Counseling people and set up your sessions and all of that. So we're leaning to that. So I am deciding my mind.
What's your daughter telling you?
No?
What is she
What you
telling you?
telling
Say,
me?
mommy, yeah. What is she? Say, mommy, do this, do that, or she just leave you on your own. Which one?
Actually, she'll tell me, mommy, if you get to go on the program, go. Yeah, she is with me 100%. Whatever I decide to do, yes, she is with me.
Okay, all right, my friends. I've been talking to Chevene Bailey, and you hear her story. And although we have some glitches and glitches and glitches, I think you still hear about 95% of her story, and it is gut wrenching to me. Um, uh, it is hard. It is hard for me to understand how how the church structure um, is not really able or developed enough, or the people aware enough to be there for people in their moment of struggles. I still can't understand the story. Somebody who's been in pastoral work, you lost your husband, your mom, your dad, your daughters got sick, and and there is no present help, and nobody to your rescue. I still can't understand that. um I know pastoral work is a lonely place to be. I know that. I know that. I've been in it for almost 40 years, so I know what that means. But it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that when you're in a crisis or in crises, clicking that people let you just fight your way through, live or die. That part I still can't understand. That part I still can't understand. And it seemed like the callousness or the insensitivity of everything, kind of really disturbed my mind. For a woman, just to fight it by herself with a decade, and there is really no help. It's incredible. It's incredible. But thank God that he's not like everybody else. Waymaker,
Yeah.
promise keeper, miracle worker, and
Yes.
we can trust him. Why didn't I
Abs-
ask Shavine that Shavine want to tell me?
Um, Actually, sometimes Bishop, as you were saying about, um, don't know if church is really developed, but as sometimes, um, I don't know if they're not equipped or whatever, but you're supposed to have persons who can deal with conflict, because if there's a little conflict, right? Suppose to can somebody suppose to can resolve it, and don't let you feel like you lose. My mother always say if there's conflict or whatever, um nobody not to feel like they lose. You understand? Yeah, deal with it. I think our church how to they don't know that how to deal with conflict. I think we need to know how to deal with certain things, right? Because persons will leave earth, persons will leave like they are cast out, like there's nobody cares, right? They don't have nobody on their side, right? Because I mean, a little thing might happen and everybody against and just leave you, just and just like do have a
You know, I
committee
am
or
not
whatever to
I
come
am not
together and
I'm not going to be the judge of everybody or anybody for that matter. But more and more, I am concluding, more and more I'm concluding that a lot of us are not ready. A lot of us are not ready for the level of ministry and the requirement of ministry and the expectation of ministry. A lot of us don't have the ability to deal with issues. A lot of us maybe just like excited to preach, and we will jump and preach on something, and that's what we will do, and we will preach and pray and shout and speak in tongues. But when it comes down to real life issues and what is really traumatizing people and how to help them to pull through their dark moments, I am not sure how prepared we are, how ready we are as ministers, leaders, how equipped, how equipped we are. And I think sometimes because we don't know what to say and how to do, we just kind of leave it and hope and pray one side and pray that God pull people through. And some things don't need prayer or don't need prayer alone. Some things need work. Some things need action. Something need involvement. Something needs a helping hand. Something need a presence. Something need you to be there as a presence and a shoulder to lean on. And I'm a little bit disappointed. Maybe that's a mild word to say. That may be a very mild word to say. I'm a little disappointed. So unfortunate. So unfortunate that ministry is not ministry. Ministry is not ministry. Church is not church. Church is not a city of refuge. Church is not a place of healing. I mean, we just have church where we just come and make some noise and we go, but we don't have a source of healing, the skills and the ability to be there to helping and to know how to talk to people about their crises and what they're going through. Know how to give some sense of hope. And I mean, it is too sad. It is too sad. It is too sad. But thank God that you're not in your battles by yourself, and so you make it to this point. And your daughter, who's gone 10, 12 years of battle with just her mom, who has lost everybody else around her except her brothers, and just the two of you that's got to fight through all of this. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I can't say some things that I really think of saying. I can't say it because it might be a little bit too personal. I don't want to say it because I don't want to say something that's going through my mind that I can say, and I don't want to say.
Hasn't been easy, Bishop. But God, so
Wow.
even through those, I mean, my daughter to go through the living sessions and all that, and yes, and things
What that means she's
hasn't
going
been easy.
what that means she's going through deliverance sessions. What that means she's going through deliverance sessions. Delivering from what? What is she being delivered from?
She has been her right. So her hurt. She I mean she even felt rejected and felt hurt and hurt. So she had passed that, past the hurt, past the rejection, and I mean at times I have to hug her and say, "See, I love you," and all of that. Stand. It really, really, really took a toll on her. And
Just
I
tell
even
tell your
had
daughter. I was gonna say, tell your daughter for me that I want to talk to her. Not on my program, not on Let's
okay, I
Talk with the
will.
Doc. I want to talk to her personally. I want to talk to her personally offline. I don't want to talk to her on this program. Maybe I'll talk to her on the program, but I want to talk to her personally. And maybe maybe I'll talk to both of you personally. I my spirit is angry. My spirit is angry. Um, but I want to talk to her. I want to talk to her. Um, oh, wow. Friends, I've been talking to Chevene, and I don't like the note that I'm ending on because it is so unfortunate. I don't like the note I'm ending on. Um, I think we are not equipped. We and also we are not equipped. We have not equipped ourselves. We have not equipped ourselves. And God and Tony Hutton is listening. I really don't want to say what I'm feel like saying. So let me leave it there. I don't want to say it. 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 But I don't know how ready we are for pastoral work. I don't know how ready we are. I don't how ready we are for leadership. I don't know the skills that we have to be having a source of help to the needy in crisis. I don't know because some people just fast and pray for everything. And fasting and prayer is faith, and faith without work is dead. So we need to get some skills. And if you people listening to me who haven't developed skills to help people in a crisis, you need to make some sacrifice and go after some skill, develop some skills to be able to help people in crisis, because these days There's so many crises and so many need of people struggling, and if they run to the place of refuge and they run to the church, and the church has nothing to offer, no counsel, no instruction, no skill to help, nothing to talk to people, no method, no ability. Just open a Bible and tell them something, the Lord will help you. That doesn't do it. Doesn't do it. Doesn't do it. All right. God bless you. Thank you for sharing your story with me. It is really really sad. I want to talk to you. I want to talk. I'll talk to you on your daughter. I'll talk to you um, on a personal level. Um, but even more your daughter, because losing her father and we gotta fight through that asthmatic attack and going through all those years sometimes, and that's what that we had in the program last time. My program, how trauma affect your life for a lifetime. And next week on Truth Matters, we're gonna have a continuation of that conversation. Next week's Wednesday night, I'm gonna have my panel on Truth Matters. We're gonna continue on this conversation of the effect of trauma and how we identify these traumatic experiences and how we help people to pull through, because these long term traumas affect people relationship even when they become adults. And the church the church, most of us has no clue, no knowledge, no understanding of even how to talk with people who are going through these things. Everything we just pray about.
Yes, Bishop, as you said about affected relationship. Yes, I want, because actually she has been engaged now, but it's affecting. It is really affecting. Ah, talk to her.
I'm sure she's listening. I just need to talk to her. I need to talk to her ASAP. I need to talk to her ASAP. So thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for sharing your
Okay, Bishop.
story. Um, I hope this helps, because I've talked to people on my program who said just talking their story sometimes comes like therapy for them. It brings them hope and healing, and I hope that this will help. And now that I get a chance to know, because I know your whole story, and we talk a little bit of WhatsApp. Hi, how you doing? I didn't know what the story was, and it's a little unfortunate, and it's kind of break my heart. It's kind of break my heart to hear this, but hope is not gone. Hope is not gone. I don't know how you're gonna copy. I don't know how you're gonna copy of my book. Don't judge me by my scars or hold me hostage to my past. I don't know how, because it's too expensive to ship. But I want to send you a copy. I want to send you a copy of this book, and hope that you can find hope and healing by reading it. Um, just let me know if somebody coming down to Jamaica from here. I'll get a copy.
Bishop,
Okay.
Bishop, remember the lady down, the lady coming down.
Okay.
Can
I'll
you talk
I'll
about
I'll
that
send I'll
next?
send you. Yes, I'll send you a copy. I'll send you a copy. My friends, I've been talking to Chevene Bailey, my friend from long young Christian days, long way back young Christian days, before she talk about anything about marriage and all that kind of stuff. Way, 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 way before that. But I left Jamaica a long time ago, and so we didn't have that connection like we used to back then. I didn't know what her life what was happening in her life, and how she was navigating through it. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I wish I knew I wish I knew she had no help. I wish I knew she had no counsel. I wish I knew she had no guidance. I wish I knew she had no support. I wish I knew that they're going through these crises and there was nobody to be there. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. But thank God you're where you are. Thank you for joining us, my friends, on another Let's Talk with the Doc. I hope that you're inspired by this. And if you have a story you want to share, feel free to talk to me. If you have a crisis, if you have something you just want to talk to somebody about, not online here, and you just want to talk to somebody, you can make some contact with me. I'll be more than happy just to talk with you. I'm not selling myself, but God has enabled me. God has enabled me to be able to talk to you in situations. All right, so I'm not gonna put my resume on my program, but God bless you. Next week we're gonna continue the conversation on trauma, how it impacts lives in a long-term basis. So I hope that you'll join us in a Truth Matters panel discussion. If you're not following me on Facebook, YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on TikTok. We are on TikTok. ORB Ministries is live on TikTok. Link up, link up, link up, stay connected. And don't forget, if you're anywhere in the world, you can get a copy of this book. If you're in the United States or its territories, you can get an autographed copy from me directly. And this one is a study book, The Seven Churches of Asia Minor, the Church in Revelation. These are two books that you should read and should study and should find hope and healing. May God bless you. Stay connected. I'll see you next time on another Lex Talk. Chevene, you're going to stay right there. Like when we come on, we're going to go off and then we will have a little bit of chat when we get off live stream. All right,
Okay.
my friends, see you again next week on another Let's Talk with it up. May God bless you and may you stay inspired and don't die alone. Don't die alone. Don't die in your situation. If your church can't help you, turn your head out. Turn your head out and find help. Don't die alone. I'll see you next time. Well, thank you for checking in on ORB Ministries. I trust that you will share with your friends, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and stay tuned because you never know what's next or who will join the conversation.